getting you out. Here, put this on. You'll need it.
You could get into a lot of trouble for doing this.
Not anymore. Things have changed. We better go.
What about the other prisoners? We can't just leave them here.
They're gone. Hoffman pardoned everybody.
Is that right?
Welcome back to the army, soldier.
Shit. Let's go.
We've got two options. We can go back the way I came, through the guards' quarters. It takes time, but it's safe. Or we can go through the prison blocks and get right into the fight. Your choice.
Let's take the prison blocks. I'm ready to kick some ass.
Welcome everybody, Josh here, back again today with a brand new YouTube video. Today we're going to talk about this, which is the ESRB rating system. Now, as you guys know, the ESRB rating system was put in place pretty much at the same time as the movie rating system. It's pretty much like the MPAA of the film world, and I think that understanding the video game landscape that we live in right now, where video games are actually a little bit more popular in terms of entertainment than movies are at this stage, I think is really important. I think that a lot of parents get jaded when talking about video games with their kids because of the fact that their kids want to buy a certain game that their friend has, and their parents might be a little bit more okay with them playing either T or M games than they are. And I think that understanding what's on the front and back of the box is a little bit more, something that parents should be aware of than they obviously are, because there's a lot of instances nowadays where parents will buy a video game for their kid. Your kid won't be ready to play said video game, whether that's a T, an M, or even an A, which really doesn't get made that much anymore. And then they'll buy this game for their kid, and they'll see some of the graphic content on it, and they'll kind of blame the video game studios for that content, whereas they should really be blaming themselves for not actually taking the time to either A, look at the back of the box and just kind of see what's on the back, where they describe either it's got sexual content, it's got nudity, it's got violence and stuff like that. Like, if you check the back of the box beforehand, you're gonna know in advance what your kids are getting into, what they're kind of seeing on screen. I think that there's certain games that kind of get away with getting that M rating where they really don't deserve it, like the Halo franchise. The Bungie era of Halo really didn't have that much violence, wasn't gory by any means. Yes, there was gore with the alien blood where it spewed out blue or purple blood depending on the alien type that you were shooting at, but overall it really wasn't that graphic or violent compared to something that is highly violent like Doom. The Doom franchise is really violent and gory, and I'm probably going to include some gameplay walkthroughs of that I've kind of recorded on my channel, or on my gaming channel, just because of the fact that I do have that footage still, just to kind of show you guys the graphic nature of that content. Or something like Grand Theft Auto, and I think that Grand Theft Auto and Mortal Kombat are really the ones that spurred the violence in video games debate back in the day, with Jack Thompson leading the scene, trying to blame video games, especially violent ones, for causing mass violence in terms of school shootings. It's a subject matter that's a little bit touchy, which is why I don't kind of cover it on my channel that much, but I do like to talk about it because I really don't think that violent video games really has that much of an effect in terms of child development or even child growth, because of the fact that I've been playing violent video games such as Call of Duty and Halo and Gears of War pretty much my entire life, and it's really been one of those video game franchises that's really affected me in terms of inspiring me to create not only my own worlds in terms of a screenwriter and storyteller, but also the fact that it's also helped me through good times and bad. And I think that without those video games that inspired me as a storyteller, I probably wouldn't be here. And I think that one can distinguish video game violence and sexuality on the screen in terms of an interactive medium like video games, compared to something like that of a movie or something else on the internet that otherwise you probably shouldn't be watching in terms of spending your time doing that stuff. So I think that everybody has to take accountability in this whole situation, because not a lot of parents want that accountability. They kind of want to blame video games or guns, and they don't want to blame themselves for allowing their kid to have access to that. Studies have shown that video games don't really cause violence at all. I think that in many ways gun violence has went down since video games have kind of taken hold and have become pretty much a mainstay in terms of popular culture for a while now. And I think that if you're playing violent video games, you're more likely to become more relaxed. You're a little bit more aware of what's going on in terms of your own life situation. It's a very calming thing because you can do things in a video game that you otherwise can't do in real life, and one can kind of distinguish pixels on the screen but actually doing it in real life. And I think that a lot of parents just sit their kids down in front of a screen nowadays. They don't actually want to be parents. They don't want to take, like I said before, accountability for their actions. And I think that all actions have consequences. If you don't teach your kids the skills they need to learn in life, like fact and fiction, right from wrong, then your kids are going to end up being in trouble in society later on. And so here's the ESRB rating system. You've got your typical E for everyone, which is basically like the PG and G of the film world. You've got your T for teen, which is basically your PG-13, which is what Steven Spielberg actually created for the MPAA. And you've got your M for mature, which which is basically for the R rating for adults, like more M-rated games like Grand Theft Auto, Mortal Kombat, God of War. Even the Halo franchise in the beginning was basically rated M, even though it really didn't need to be. Those types of games get put in that category of the ESRB rating system. Even Call of Duty kind of goes up there, and things like BioShock and some of the other games that I had played on my gaming channel in the past, or I've played in the past myself. And you've got adults only, which, you know, the adults only rating doesn't really get made anymore. It's a little bit more mature in terms of its themes and context and some of the graphic displays of violence and probably sex and nudity that's on display, but that really doesn't happen as much the T and the M ratings. So I think that you're going to be safe in terms of your child getting a hand on the adult video games. There really isn't much of that out there, but I think that the T and the M are the ones that you should be concerned with, because some T rated games do contain some graphic imagery that's a little bit more disturbing for our viewers than even the M rated games. So you have to gauge whether or not your child or the person that you're buying these games for is ready for that. If they're obviously an adult, then you can play both T and M, but if the person that you're buying the games for is younger than like 17 or 16, then you're probably going to want to go with the E or the T rating systems, just because of the fact that those are pretty much going to be what's more suitable for your kids. So those are my thoughts of the ESRB rating system. I really do think that they're important, just like, you know, the MPAA for film. I think that the ESRB rating system keeps things in check, and like I said before, you can look at the front of the box. It'll tell you if it's E, T, M, or A, and then also in the back has that plus the description of what that video game rating system is in terms of what's inside of it. And you can always go up to a retail cashier and ask them if this game is rated for your child. You can obviously go to GameStop and ask them what's inside of the game, and I'm sure that the GameStop employees will basically tell you if there's anything that you should be concerned about. But I really do think that with the age of the internet, with being able to buy things online whenever you want to, parents really need to be more discerning about what their kids are playing, even though I really don't think that violence in video games really has that much of an effect on anybody. And I think that even with myself, I've been playing violent video games for years, and I really don't see myself doing anything or harming anyone, because that's just not who I am. But I think that if your kid is ready for that, if your child is ready to play T or even M-rated games, that's something that you really need to discuss for yourself and the child that you're buying these games for. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the whole ESRB rating system. Do you think it's something that is good for society? Do you think it's something that's bad? I know that some people kind of have mixed opinions of that. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the whole ESRB rating system came in place when Grand Theft Auto and Mortal Kombat and stuff like that came into fruition in terms of the video game world, and kind of what your thoughts and opinions are of that as a whole. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, and as always guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Now where's that shield?
I am not yet defeated.
Yes, you are. Time to go home.
Cut! Print it!
I knew it! Whew. I felt that one. You felt it too, right?
Temple of Kataravala, take 39, tail slate.
That's a wrap. Steven, this was fantastic. Thank you. Oh, just like the old days. And these props. Jimbo killed it.
You did too, Johnny.
Hey, about my pitch. You know, the karate zombie thing? I'm thinking 4 films. Maybe a streaming series?
Johnny, I don't have...
You're right. Not here. I'll swing by your office after I change.
I can't. Have to meet with the editors. Marshall will call you.
Great! Have your assistant call me.
That was great, hon.
Wasn't it, though? We need to celebrate. I'm thinking private party.
Johnny, we need to talk.